Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
What's up?
That committee, that 12-team committee, that's the talk and all sports. AM 1370, they're just, everybody's shaking their head like, what are they doing? What are they thinking? How's it determined? Who, Tennessee's got to be fuming right now. They're sitting there on the outside looking in, and they beat Alabama.
They're looking 11, and that's looking in.
No, they're out. They're not in the playoff picture right now.
Oh, I'm just looking at the top 25 they had here. They had Tennessee at 11, Georgia at 10, Ole Miss at 9.
Yeah, we're looking at the bracket. Boise State's in.
Boise State.
It's conference champions.
Conference championships will go ahead of that.
Right. Yeah. So right now Tennessee's
kind of like us last week.
They're right. We were on the outside looking in last week
because of conference champions.
Right.
Yeah. Even though we were 12.
Right. The 5 conference champions get an automatic bye or a bid. So and then there's 7. What do they call it?
At large.
At large picks, like for 7. So.
Okay.
That's how it's determined. So Georgia should be in. They should be fine if they win Saturday.
2 more games,
right.
and we should be in. I was trying to see who was ahead of us that had losses. Okay, we had Alabama that's 7, and of course we lost to Alabama, and they're 8-2, and we lost to Ole Miss, and they're right ahead of us at 9. They're 8-2, and of course we're 8-2. But you still got Oregon 11-0. Ohio State, their 1 loss, is that to Oregon?
That's to Oregon.
That's to Oregon, yeah. Right. Texas 9-1. Their loss, of course, was to Georgia.
Right.
Okay, and Indiana, which I think is going to get blown out by Ohio State. Notre Dame's 9-1. Notre Dame lost to
Northern Illinois.
I know. Just
you look at that. I love the Irish, but they don't. I mean, let's see how they do against undefeated Army this weekend at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, they're playing at Yankee Stadium.
They're playing at Yankee Stadium.
So Notre Dame Army at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, everybody's got their eyes on that Texas A&M Texas game. A lot of people believe Texas A&M will beat Texas in that Thanksgiving game, and Texas A&M could vault back into the playoff picture.
They're 8-2.
So, like I said, there's still a lot of games to be played.
Yeah, there's more games.
Colorado's still fighting to get in. They got Kansas this week. So, and Dion said yesterday he's not going anywhere.
Going anywhere. He's staying right there.
Says, does he ever have a bike? You put your kickstand down? He said the kickstand's down. He's happy in Colorado. I don't believe that for 1 second. Yeah. As soon as Jerry Jones gets on the phone and says, Dion, I got a check here. How many millions of dollars you want? Just put the number in there.
I said, I'm just a few years from dying, so I want to go out broke. How much can I pay you?
Bring your son. Bring Michael and Emmett and Troy, and we're good to go. Have a little reunion here in Dallas.
Okay.
It's got to get better.
I don't know. Jerry's never been known to make the best decisions when it comes to personnel, so the coaches will see.
But Dion,
he just should have just stayed out of the way.
I don't believe Dion.
Tell how many Super Bowl trophies he'd had if he'd just stayed out of the way and hired the best manager around and the best coach.
Should have kept Jimmy Johnson.
He should have kept Jimmy, right? And then had a general manager that was the best in the business and just stayed back and. But Jerry can't do that. His ego's way too big.
Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith, they make no bones about it. They said, look, if he would have left Jimmy Johnson in place, they would have won several more Super Bowls. I mean, they had
just one more.
Yeah, they had it rolling. So, but Jerry, it's his playground, his team.
It's his team. He can do what he wants.
So that would be a big splash, Dion in Dallas. That would be wild. So
that would be wild. Would be prime time in prime time.
A lot of people in FSU would like to have him down there. I saw Jerry Jones who played at FSU. I said, would you like Dion? He said he'd take him.
He'd take him.
He said he'd love to have him.
Well, Dion's done pretty good at Colorado since
he's not happy
there.
with the current coach down there at Florida State. Man, they've had a terrible year.
I need to go from an undefeated season to where they are right now. It's just amazing. But, you never can tell with some of these teams because of the transfer portal and what else? NIL. You just don't know what's going to happen. You really don't know what's going to happen these days. You kind of know what's going to come next year, and then sometimes the way it is now, you don't know.
That Ole Miss Florida game is going to be interesting because Florida's got their quarterback back, and they're starting to play well. They had the big win over LSU. And Kelly's on the hot seat at LSU, lost 3 in a row. They're ready to get rid of him. I told my sister he
At where now?
At LSU, Brian
LSU,
Kelly.
okay, Brian
Yeah,
Kelly.
he's
That's
the
right.
guy.
You said
I told my sister, she's an LSU graduate. You know,
Right.
when they got him from Notre Dame, she
Right.
said, "What kind of coach is he?" I said, "Good luck. You can have him."
you can have him. We don't want him anymore.
I never liked Brian Kelly.
Well, that would be great. This might be the few weekends that we actually pull for Florida to win. You know, so to beat
Beat Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah, to beat Ole Miss, that would be great. That would be fine because all these teams in front of us, we want them to lose. You know,
So,
go Army, beat Notre Dame. You know,
It's going to be a wild
go
season.
Texas A&M, beat
Wild
Texas.
season. I tell you, that Army, that option is hard. You know, if you're not
If you're not used to it, yeah.
it's hard to stop. So
Yeah,
that Army's unbeaten. So, but Navy was unbeaten when they went to Notre Dame. Notre Dame crushed them.
Crushed them. Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. But
I
that'll
think
be a
Notre
big
Dame's
scene
got
at
that game.
Yankee Stadium. That'll be a wild scene there.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame shouldn't have any problem with Army, at least as the game goes along. It may be close there to begin with, all the adrenaline flowing and that kind of stuff, but depth and quality of the athletes should take over the second half.
And they still got USC too, and that's the big rivalry. That's like a Georgia-Florida rivalry.
Notre Dame does,
USC,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
they still got some tough games. So I said a lot of interesting games still left on the season, so it could shuffle a lot. So there's just a lot of teams trying to jockey to get in, but Georgia was on the outside after the loss to Ole Miss, but they're back in. So like I said, they take care of business Saturday and next Friday. Again,
Yeah.
that Georgia Tech game's scheduled for Friday after Thanksgiving, 7:30 on ABC. So that game's in Athens, so that should be a fun game.
Yeah, it's all in our own hands here, Bob. There's 2 more victories, and we're in the 12.
Just stay away from the SEC title game.
Just stay away from that title game.
You know, don't want to risk a third.
Yes,
That's going to be the most interesting debate
Uh-huh.
on the committee because say it's Alabama and Texas,
Yeah, because they're the 2 ahead of us right now.
And say Texas loses to Texas A&M, but they still get, and they say they play, and Alabama loses and has a third loss.
Right.
Are they actually going to kick Alabama out of the playoff picture, or are they going to take a third team loss Alabama over, say, whoever,
An
say
Indiana or someone like
Notre
that,
Dame,
or-
that's going to be the big debate. If you're going to penalize a team for playing for a conference championship, what kind of format do you have? I mean, that doesn't seem like the right thing to do. I'm going to play for a championship, but yet if I lose the championship game, I'm going to be kicked out of the playoffs. So, I mean, I'm defeating my purpose. The purpose is to get in the 12-team playoffs.
Right,
That's
right.
how you get a chance to win a national championship. But
If you win the conference championship, no matter what your record is, you get in.
Well, you get automatic bye. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reward. But I'm just saying, if you lose that game and you get a third loss, you're going to let a one-team Indiana loses to Ohio State and they only have one loss. Say they play well. Say it's a 14-point game or a 10-point game. Say they play well and they only have one loss. Are they going to put a one-loss Indiana team over a 3-loss Alabama team or a 3-loss
I guess they'd have to.
Ole Miss team or something like that?
It's just like they have the question on here. Now, the college football playoff, what matters more, quantity of victories or quality of victories?
Right.
That's what you got to take a look at, you know.
Like I said, it just, it depends on who you're. Like I say, BYU lost a game this past week and they dropped them 8 spots. So, I mean, it's just like Georgia. When Georgia lost to Ole Miss, they dropped them 6, 7 spots. I mean, it's interesting what the committee's seeing or how they think. So, but they're getting crushed by a lot of people. Kirby's not real impressed with them. Paul Feinbaum every day says they have no idea what they're doing. He says, who are these people? Or so they're really qualified. Somebody called yesterday, wanted to know who the committee was. He ran down the committee. I mean, one guy's like a former NFL player. Some are ADs at different colleges. So, I mean, it's a hodgepodge of who's who. But I like to know how they got on that committee. I mean, what's the qualifications of being on the committee?
Don't know, Bob.
I mean, so just a bunch of people in a room.
Just like a lot of folks who vote for Hall of Fame,
I guess,
football,
right,
baseball, and hockey. You got
but-
those committee people who,
But
you try to get enough of them so it'll kind of work its way out.
The good news, we're in good shape, Georgia fans. Like I said, just
Right.
beat UMass, beat Tech, and we're in the 12-team play. Right now, the projection was we'd be at Happy Valley taking on Penn State in the first game.
If everything stayed like right now, we'd be on the road taking on Penn State in that first
It
round.
changes from week to week, but right now that's the matchup. Georgia would be at Penn State taking on up at Happy Valley, but the big whiteout, that'd be fun. Georgia like to get a host. They'd like to host that first round game. Hopefully, they can move into that spot. So
Right.
that'd be fun to see a playoff game in Athens.
Yes, it would be.
So that's what's going to be fun. TV
So where do
ratings
they
gonna
play
be-
after the first round?
Then
do
they
you
go
know?
to the bowl games. The
They go to the bowl games
game,
after the first
Orange
round.
Bowl,
Okay.
the Rose Bowl, all those bowl games are playoff games.
Play
So-
playoff games. Okay.
So they're keeping all the bowl games intact, but they're instead of a bowl, it's a playoff game. The
Okay.
Rose Bowl will be a playoff game.
Right.
The
So-
Orange Bowl will be a playoff game. The Sugar Bowl, the big bowl games those are your playoff matchups.
Okay,
So-
those are the playoff matches. All
and they
right.
still have all the other bowls still intact too. So, like say if you win 6 games, you're bowl eligible. So you're going somewhere to play a bowl game.
Okay.
But it's exciting. It makes for a lot of AM 1370 talk radio. They love it. It's 24/7.
Yes, sir.
It's
I
fun,
always
but-
debate about it.
but-
There's debate.
Last week, the Dog fans were upset. This week, it's the Vol fans that are upset.
Right.
Because Tennessee's like, how can we be behind Alabama? We beat Alabama.
Yeah.
What are they doing? So it's going to be fun to see if they can get in. Tennessee's a good football team. I mean, that was a heck of a ball game Saturday night. And like I said, they started off 10-0. I thought for sure Georgia was in trouble, but Georgia was able to rally and play well down the stretch. So got the big win that they needed, because if they would have lost that ball game, they would be out of the playoff picture altogether.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Can't have another loss.
that was a
Can't do it.
must win. And like I said, we still got Tech. Don't overlook Tech.
No, you can't
Tech's
overlook
playing
that.
well,
No, they're
so
playing well. Heck, they beat Miami.
That's that clean old-fashioned hate game. So you just never know. So, and Tech's playing well. They probably have their quarterback back by the time they play that game too. He played a little bit last week, but he's still banged up a little bit. But if they get their quarterback back, it could be a very good game.
Okay.
It's weird that the Jaguars and the Falcons have the same bye week.
That is amazing, isn't it?
I look at the schedule. I kept looking.
Hey, they're both.
They're
off this weekend, both of them?
They both look like they're off this week. Looking at the
Jeez.
calendar.
Yes, sir. Falcons don't play until December 1st, and
The Jaguars
and neither
the
does the
same way.
Jags.
Right.
So both of them have off this weekend. What's Southern up to this weekend?
They've got Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina on the road.
Yeah, it's a 3:30 game.
So Georgia Southern will be going up to Coastal Carolina there, just outside of Myrtle Beach, and taking on whatever I don't know what their nickname is. Do you? Coastal Carolina. Our coverage will begin at 1:30 with the Georgia Southern Eagle tailgate show here on 105.5 FM Saturday, with kickoff at 3:30. So go Eagles. Still can't believe they lost to Troy. I thought that was a gimme, because Troy has been tough in the past, but they've had a rough year this year.
Right.
So I thought Georgia Southern's going to win this one. I mean, look at the teams they beat already.
Most Georgia Southern fans thought it, but they're going to be underdogs in the final 2 ball games. So, but they're bowl eligible already though. They've got 6 wins,
Right.
so they're in good shape. But that was a shocker last week.
That was a
Losing
shock.
Troy.
I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. I thought that was a gimme for Southern before they moved into those last 2 hard games against Coastal Carolina, App State. But it didn't happen, Bob. That's the reason why they play the game, right?
That's why they play the game.
You don't know.
They don't play them on paper. You just don't ever know.
You just never know.
know.
No, you just never know. So all that's going on right there, and it is amazing the Falcons and the Jaguars have both off the same weekend. That just the law of averages, you wouldn't think that would happen, but it did. And so the next time the Jags play, they'll be on the road at home taking on Houston, and next time the Falcons play, they'll be at home taking on the Rams.
And poor Doug Peterson, coach of the Jaguars, man, he's catching in those media.
Oh, I'm
Dang,
sure he is. I mean,
he said it basically yesterday. He said, "Look, they're going to fire me. They're going to fire me. It is what it is. Just
it is what it is.
There's no way to get around. But it's been a brutal season for Jacksonville. I mean, it was going into the season. It was optimistic.
I know everybody was. This is going to be the Jags year, because the year before, last year, they've been
they
right
thought,
there.
Right. I mean, they made some nice off-season moves and added some players, so everybody thought this was going to be a good year for Jacksonville. But
boy, it sure didn't happen, did it?
It hasn't panned out that way.
I mean, what did they get beat by, like 50-something to 6 or something like this?
The Lions look tough. Detroit Lions, I'm going to tell you, they got their eye on the Super. They're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, and of course there'll be a regular Thanksgiving Day, as there usually are.
Right.
What are the games on Thanksgiving Day? Do you know?
I'm sure the Cowboys normally play the Redskins, but I haven't really looked at the schedule yet. I know Pittsburgh plays on Christmas Day, and they're worried about that because that's the same network that had the fight, and the fight, apparently you couldn't see the fight because
the buffering.
that Netflix was.
It was on Netflix, and they had 60 million people worldwide.
So now
and
there's all this.
Now there's not going to be
concern.
60 million people watching a football game. It'll be be several million.
Christmas
No,
Day.
no.
The Steeler Kansas City game. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the game. They better have it right.
But do you have Netflix?
My brother-in-law will.
So
I'll be in Roswell.
You'll be in where now?
I'll be in Roswell.
Roswell, Georgia.
He's got all kinds.
He's got everything, huh?
You know, I don't know about you, but I got one TV, one remote. You go to his place, and they've got like 7 remotes on the table. So
7 remotes.
I don't even touch it. I just say, "Look, can you turn on?" I just
turn on something
because I don't want to mess it up. Because I'm like, how do you keep up with?
It's
all
like
this?
when I go to my grandson's house. They got TVs and remotes everywhere, and I'll say, "I want to watch this," and they go click, 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 and all these things, and then it'll get there.
He's got every network, all these. He's got stuff I never heard of before. So I'm like, but I don't touch it. But he'll have it. So. That'll be fun. But Kansas City, Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. There's several games on Christmas Day, so I'm not sure about the Thanksgiving schedule. Like I said, Detroit's always in action. I'm not sure they're playing though. I can look at the schedule, have that tomorrow. But Dallas, it's normally, like I said, the first game is Detroit, and then the second game in the afternoon is the Dallas Cowboys, and they've added a night game on Thanksgiving as well. So there's 3 games that day. So. After you eat your turkey, you can sit back and watch football. It'll be interesting. Like I said, my parents would always make me sit down at the Thanksgiving table and make me turn the TV off. That would just drive me crazy because I didn't want to watch the game.
Well, eating. You can't have the game going while you're sitting there trying to have it.
As long as you turn down the sign, what does it matter?
Because your eyes are going to be looking at the TV and not paying attention to what's going on there. I can understand that.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah. Well, you're a kid.
I used to.
And you're still an adult, and you probably still feel the same way.
I was just upset. I was like, "Come on, Mom, just turn the TV on. Just turn the sign down. Let me at least watch the game." No, it's Thanksgiving dinner.
Here with family.
That's right.
Well, that's what I like. Thanksgiving is a great holiday because all you do is eat, get with family, and watch football. There's no pressure of presents. There's no pressure of this. It's a very relaxing holiday on Thanksgiving.
A lot of food, that's for sure. It's all about eating.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think I found it here. Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions at 12:30.
That'll be a good game.
Okay, so Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. And then at 4:30, that's at 12:30, 4:30, New York Giants at Dallas.
They got the Giants to the Commanders, okay.
Giants to then that's
not a very good game.
No, it's not.
That's 2 lousy teams right there.
That's not going to be good.
I won't have to worry about the TV being on. I won't miss anything.
You won't miss anything there. That's the time.
That'll be the time to eat.
That's
4
the time
o'clock.
that my family plans on eating is around 4 o'clock. So 4:30 will be fine. And then at 8, I game is Miami Dolphins at Green Bay. That'll be a good game right there.
I tell you, Tua is playing well since he got back. The Dolphins are on a roll, so they're still talking playoffs. So playoffs. But glad to see Tua playing well. But every time he runs, every time he gets hit, I just cringe because I'm just afraid for that guy's health. But
Didn't he try to tackle somebody the other day, and everybody just all the air went out of the stadium when he went there to try to tackle somebody the other day, head first. Now
it's like scary.
It's a sheesh. Let somebody push them. Don't put your head down there. What were you thinking?
So I made the joke, and obviously he ought to go to a Major League Baseball camp and learn how to slide. Just get down.
Get down. Get out of the way. Don't put your head forward. If you're gonna push if you're gonna try to tackle somebody, just push them.
Just get down to it. Just get down.
Yeah. But it's they say it's that muscle memory that just kicks in. You've been playing since you were a little toddler, and rec football, and you have that thing just to go and tackle. That's the muscle memory there. But he's got to remember he can't do that. He's got to push with his hands if he's going to try to tackle. Christmas Day, Bob. It's going to be Kansas City at Pittsburgh.
What time's that game?
That is a 1 o'clock.
Oh, it's a 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Good. It
1 o'clock.
Won't interfere with any dinner plans.
That's and of course that's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what scares me. But like I said, they better have it fixed by then.
And then Baltimore at Houston. The Ravens at the Texans at 4:30 on Christmas Day.
Is that still Netflix too? Is it all on Netflix or is it?
Yep,
different?
that's Netflix. And then the day after Christmas, the 26th, we'll have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Chicago Bears. So you have those 2 games on Netflix, which I think is just not right. I'm the type of person, I have an antenna. I don't have any cable. I don't have any satellite. I don't have any streaming. I have an antenna. And if it ain't on broadcast television, I don't see it. I don't see it. And, then putting it on the streaming stuff is just un-American.
Yeah, I'm not paying for none of that stuff, too. Like I said, Thursday, I'm out of luck because my Steelers are playing on Prime Video. I don't know what that is, so won't be able to see that.
Yeah,
I'll be watching it. I'll be watching it, keep an update on my phone. So, but they should win that game. They should beat Cleveland. So I'm not worried about that. That'll be a 9th win. Like I said, they win the 2 games against Cleveland. They got 10 wins. They should get in the playoffs. So nobody gave them a chance at the beginning of the season. So it's been a surprising year for the Steelers. So
they've done well. They've done well. Yeah. You didn't think that at the beginning of the season, but they've come right along.
Hard to win 2 games without scoring a touchdown, but they've done that this year. Thanks to Chris Boswell, 6 field goals Sunday.
Now, Chris kicked for who?
Pittsburgh, Chris Boswell.
Yeah, but who did he kick for in college? Do you know?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
It's been so long.
I thought he was one of the best college.
It's been so long ago since we've got him. I don't remember what college. He's been with the Steelers forever.
Which team has the Georgia Southern kicker? Is that Buffalo? Who is that?
Buffalo.
Buffalo has the Georgia Southern kicker, right?
Yeah, Bass, Tyler
Bass.
Bass.
Bass. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Bob?
The Falcons got a Georgia Southern kicker too, but I can't pronounce his name.
Oh, you said it's a tough one?
Yeah, it's like
it's tough.
It's a tough
but
name.
But the Falcons have a Georgia Southern kicker also, just
right.
like Buffalo does.
Right, yeah.
Well, good. All right.
Okay.
Bob, we're wrapped up.
Have a good day.
World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And it's been brought to you by the Service Department at G&S Auto Sales, by First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, and by O.C. Welch Ford in Hardyville.